The tension is so thin that people out here are literally like shit. There was an incident that happened not far from where I'm at, actually, where this guy was at like Subway or something, and the worker messed up his sandwich, and the guy literally pulled out his assault weapon and started to attack people there. Seriously, seriously. So again, people are willing to lose their mind over somebody messing up a damn Subway sandwich out here, man. So again, these people are on thin ice when it comes to the limit of what they're willing to tolerate at this point. People are ready to lose their mind. Oh, and this ties into the whole TikTok ban as well. And actually, I recently did like an entire hour-long video, ranting about that topic and why it's really a terrible idea. And again, I don't even use TikTok, right? I've never used the app in my life. So I don't have anything to gain if they take it away or keep the app because I don't use it whatsoever. But I made many wonderful points in my rant about, you got to consider there's in this country, the United States, there are literally 150 plus million people that use this app TikTok. So if you take that away from these people, they're going to lose their minds because people are already, on all these, depressing medications to try to get their mood up. People are already fed up with the cost of living. People are already fed up with, the how the politicians are living compared to their situation. So again, taking the last thing these people have to enjoy in life away from them, they're going to lose their minds. So again, like the politicians, they just don't think about that. And why is that? Because again, they're all corrupt. There is no such thing as a good congressman. All congressmen are corrupt. There's no such thing as a good person that works for government. All government workers, as far as like, the political, um, the people involved with government, right, and governmental organizations. I'm not talking about the average dude, working at Walmart stocking shelves, right? He has nothing to do with it. The money he's getting that goes back to the government after taxes, he don't have nothing to do with this. I'm talking about the people like living in governmental, working for governmental offices or people higher up, with like the White House and, lawmakers and stuff like that. Those people are all corrupt. There's no good people in there. Again, you could tell yourself there is, but I mean, you're just telling yourself something stupid at that point. You're not actually living in reality at that point. Uh, let's see. But yeah, man, oh, and a whole nother thing to bring up. The whole situation is going into world news, right? You have to talk about that, right? World news. Like over in Haiti over the past, I believe it's been what, 2 weeks now? Over the past 2 weeks, there's been, the gangs over there, right? Because Haiti and the capital there, what is it called? Port-au-Prince, right? Port-au-Prince over in Haiti. Basically, gangs over there, right? Rival gangs are fighting for power over over the government of the country, right? Over the government of the country. So recently, what just happened, like 2 weeks ago, right? The gangs joined forces together to go attack governments and attack, governmental buildings and attack police stations, and they actually attacked the jail in Haiti, and they actually freed like 4,000, inmates, right? They actually invaded the prison and they set 4,000 people free from being, locked up there. So Haiti right now, man, that's a damn mess, right? Haiti is a damn mess right now, man. They got people over there, literally fighting over the last can of beans right now. You got people afraid, to go for a walk in the daytime because they could get kidnapped, or just shot by gangs. Again, a lot of difficulties are taking place over in Haiti right now. And then, of course, the same thing in Gaza, right? This whole situation happening in Gaza now. What has it been, like 5 months that the war has been taking place over in Gaza, and it's not stopping anytime soon. Like even the governmental powers in Israel right now, even they're saying, hey, look, our what's the word I'm looking for? Operations, right? Our operations in the Gaza Strip, they're not going to be over for at least a couple of months, right? So that, again, their eyes are on, their eyes are on the future, right? There's not going to be any type of ceasefire agreement. They're just going to keep continuing to steamroll Gaza until they complete their entire plan, right? So again, we got that war going on over there. You literally have, people are so desperate over there right now that even the United States, they had to go behind the back of Israel and, drop some aid packages into Gaza, because on the ground, they couldn't try to like bring any type of trucks in with food, because Israel's holding up all of the all of the trucks that would be regularly, bringing aid to the people there, right, bringing food to them. Israel's blocking that, right? They're not letting that through the checkpoints they have set up. So America, they're going behind Israel's back and just dropping over the, dropping off like behind Gaza, right by the coastlines. They're dropping off aid packages, right, of food and vegetables and, what other needs they can try to get to the people that are suffering there. Right. So again, there's a whole lot of shit that's going on right now. Then on the other hand, you got these dummies out there talking about, oh, well, we're living in heaven right now. Right. We're living in heaven. There's nothing going on. Right. Pastor William Bell, as he said, right, all the church is dwelling safely today. Right. The church is dwelling safely. Right. Jesus Christ is ruling all nations and they're all obedient to him. It's like, man, what type of dummies believe that nonsense, in today's day and age? It's like, seriously, you got dudes out here in the year 2024 that literally believe they're living in heaven. I mean, you can't be serious. It's like, again, you literally have people right now that are scared to leave their homes because, a gang might grab them up. You literally got, hell, not too long ago, a couple of years ago, which I'll use code language here, because you have to on this anti-freedom of speech platform called YouTube. But a couple years ago, most of the world was afraid to go outside because of, well, you can connect the pictures, right? The thing that happened in 2020, which is still going on today, by the way. It's just a lot of people are, used to it at this point. Back then when it was new, they didn't know how severe all this was and whatnot, but still going around today, absolutely. Right? It never went away. Here we are 4 years later, it's still going around. But that's a different topic. But again, the point is very clear that even the whole world, was afraid to leave their house, right? They had to lock themselves down, because of this pestilence that was spreading the world. But this is heaven, though, according to these, full preterists. I mean, come on. Now that's ridiculous. Let's see, Jason. Luke said Putin got re-elected. Yeah, I've seen. We'll jump over to Ukraine for a minute now. I've seen that. Actually, yesterday I saw that that they were saying that Putin was like rejoicing about his victory in the election. I've seen that yesterday. They were talking about that, which truly, to be honest with you, I think it's just like America. It's not really a real election. It's actually all rigged, right? So I think Putin, it's rigged. It's not actually like like the votes are being counted correctly. Because truly the powers behind the scenes, if they want somebody in there, they're getting in there. The vote of the public, that's not important. It's just there to try to, trick people into thinking that they have a say in the selection of the next leader. Because if people didn't have that option, then people would, would revolt if they didn't like the leaders. But giving the people the illusion that they have a choice to pick their next leader, that will calm some people's nerves because they think they have a say in the matter. But truly, It's just smoke and mirrors. If you're not familiar with the term, you know, you can look that up. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's a distraction for the average person. Hey, how you doing, Rudy? Yo, Rudy, you better make sure you do those war attacks, man. You asked me to add you into the clan war, so you better, you know, make sure you participate, man, because you left last time and didn't get back in time to, you know, do your attacks. And if anybody don't know what I'm talking about like me and Rudy, we play a game together, like a mobile app game. So that's what I'm referring to there. But yeah, Rudy, you know, when you get some free time, man, make sure you go on and you complete those two attacks. Because we need it. Hell, look at that. He said you just reminded me. Shit, because if I didn't remind him, he would have forgot. Oh man. Yeah, Rudy, you need some of that fish oil, man. Right? You need to, you know, have some fish oil, right? You need to, you know, have a more clear memory, man. And shit, I'm not blaming you. I need to get some of that too myself. That's what Deacon Hakah uses, right? Deacon Hakah mentioned in one of his live streams that he uses like fish oil. It's basically like a pill, or you can take that like increases your memory, right? It's good for your brain. You can look it up. Man, I got to get a couple of those. Expensive though. Let's see. Luke said, Putin pointed out that America is using the justice system to silence Trump. Yeah, I can believe that, and he's right on that because here's the thing with Trump and Putin, right? They're actually they're rather friendly with one another, right? Trump and Putin, they got along, right? Matter of fact, Trump claims that if he got in office, he would be able to like end the conflict over there in like 24 hours, which that's obviously not going to happen, but that's what he claims. Which obviously he's just saying that to you know, play on the strings of the emotions of the people, right? To try to get them to elect him. And same thing with all the politicians. What happens? They make all these promises to the people, and then when they get elected and are in their power, they don't actually come through with those promises. Time after time after time, every politician, it's the same way. Make all these great promises to the population, and once you get into power, you never fulfill those promises. They all do it. It happens every time. It happens every time. Every time. Putin said Russia has fair elections. But again, you know, just like how Putin said, well, we're not actually going to invade Ukraine. Like remember back in 2022 in January, right when the Russian troops were building on the border of Ukraine, you know, some of the American, you know, people that had their eyes on the area were like, "Hey, look, all of this looks like there's going to be an invasion in a couple of days or a few weeks." And Putin was like, "Nah, you know, we're not trying to invade Ukraine. We're just doing like a military practice on the border. Like we're just, you know, we're doing some practices. We're doing some drills for our troops." Right, you know, and then they say, well, we have a right to deploy our army anywhere we want on our territory. So again, you know, I wouldn't trust Putin because again, he's literally lying. He said, "Well, we're not planning to invade Ukraine." A few days later, they steamroll into Ukraine. So again, the man's definitely a what's the word I'm looking for? A liar, right? The man's definitely a liar. But I will give him credit as well. I've seen his interview. I believe what is it? Like a 2-hour interview that he did with Tucker Carlson, like a month or two back. Right, he's a very intelligent man, right? I'll give Putin credit. Hey, love him or hate him, you can't deny that he's very intelligent. Meaning what? He knows the history of his country and you know the conflicts and all of these no American history, American presidents. He knows all this stuff. He knows the ins and outs of all this information, right? So again, you have to give the man credit that he's definitely very knowledgeable compared to the guy we got in office in America. This guy Biden, the dudes, can't even walk up a flight of stairs, right? The guy can't even get his speech right. The guy gets Israel and Ukraine mixed up in his speeches. It's like, seriously? The guy needs help getting down a flight of stairs. So again, compare Putin to this guy we got Biden. I mean, come on, there's no comparison there. Again, love him or hate him, you got to admit the facts. Let's see. Rudy said, I'm actually at the Dollar Tree right now. Oh, that's cool, man. Actually, just earlier this night, I actually went to my own personal adult playground, the Dollar Tree, as the Wolf Pit would say. Shout out to anybody who knows who I'm talking about. But yeah, Rudy, that's cool, man. Yeah, that's cool, Rudy. You missed last time. It's okay, but you got to make sure you do this time, right? You got to make sure you actually do that because yeah, Luke, this year is the year of the election. Later this year, I believe, what is it, like November? Wait, November? That around that time is when the election's going to be taking place. Man, that's going to be wild, man. That's going to be wild. People are going to lose their shit if Trump gets into office. And then people, on the other hand, are going to lose their shit if Trump does get into office. So again, on both sides of this, it's not going to go over well. And then, as I ranted about earlier, people are already, on like a, people are already at their wits' end, for lack of better words, right? People are already ready to lose their mind and start attacking people over somebody messing up their sandwich. You know what I'm saying? So again, people are going to lose their mind whether Trump gets into office or if Trump does not get into office. People are going to go crazy either way it goes. Yeah, Luke, I seen that Russia claims that I can't use that word on here because that's a flag word. Um, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. But truly, that doesn't even make sense because this guy, Zelensky, right, the guy that rules over Ukraine, right, the president of Ukraine, he claims that he's a Jewish man, which of course, he's he really isn't, right? He's one of those, as the Bible says, what is that, Revelation, I believe it's the second chapter, says those who claim they are Jews and are not, but are actually of the synagogue of Satan. Right, so he's not really a real Israelite like he says that he is. But regardless of that, how the hell could you say that he is one person of that group from the 40s if he claims that he's Jewish? I mean, how the hell does that make sense? So I mean, that's somebody's definitely lying there, trying to just play on the emotions of people. Luke said Russia is getting weapons from North Korea and India. Yeah, that's true. Even I believe even Saudi Arabia is sending them drones over there too. Right, so Ukraine's getting aid from other countries. Russia's also getting aid from other countries. So truth is, the conflict's just going to keep dragging on for years at this point, right? Or at least that's what it looks like. Because I remember back when the conflict first started, people were like, "Oh, it'll roll over in a couple of weeks or maybe 2 months. It will all boil down." Here we are, almost 25 months later, and there's still shit going on over there every day. That, like they say, for instance, just a couple of days ago, the biggest drone attack happened in Russia since the war begun. I believe they shot down, like they say, 50 drones. That had explosives on them over Moscow. So again, every day that goes by, it seems like it just continues to keep escalating. And then Putin said, hey, if NATO sends troops into Ukraine, that's World War III. Like, they literally come out and say it. Yeah, hey, if they do that, then that's World War III right there. We're going to destroy all of them. That's literally what they said. There's no sugarcoating that. So again, all these countries around the world, they know what time it is, except for America, right? Except for this pussified nation, America. Got people out here walking around confused about what gender they are. Got people out here identifying as blue whales. You got people out here identifying as a cactus, for Christ's sake. You got people out here, that are confused about, if they're actually a male or a female. You got people out here. I mean, I could continue to go on and on, about, the people in this country, man. Got people worn out from just walking up one flight of stairs. I mean, these people over here, man, are completely finished. But all these other nations, they know what time it is. They know, well, yeah, it looks like, in the near future, looks like World War III. Right? The nations are starting to realize, the conflict on the horizon in the near future. It's true for said shit's going to go down. Yeah, it's true. It's true. All these things taken into consideration, it comes a point when it's just too much, right? It comes a point when it is too much. The system's not going to be able to hold itself up for much longer. And speaking of all the nations in the world, not just only the United States, these systems of government, there's going to come a point where the people are fed up with the situation and think the government's not doing enough, and they're going to take actions into their own hands. And that's in the Bible. Just go ahead, grab your Apocrypha, read 2nd Ezra 15 and 2nd Ezra the 16th chapter. Read both of those chapters. Clearly, some of that stuff in there we see happening over the last couple of years. Like, say, for instance, it said a man should not be able to go into a city. Meaning what? We saw that with lockdowns. You literally could not enter into cities. So you were locked down where you were. You got people, say, for instance, that might have been in the middle of the country in certain states that are landlocked, not by oceans. They were locked in. They couldn't get out of those. They couldn't get out of those states. They were locked in. So again, that part's fulfilled right there. People not being able to go into cities, right? Being locked out of cities. We see that happening. Oh, even in Haiti, we see that happening right now, right? It's very difficult to get into Haiti and to get out of Haiti right now with the violence and, the gang uproars taking place there right now. It's very difficult to get access to the city or to get out of the city. And when I say city, I'm saying like the whole region area, right? Like, how America is called a city in the Bible. I mean it like in the context of the whole country. It's hard to get in and hard to get out in a nutshell. GTF said, literally nobody likes Biden in California, yet somehow Biden wins California. Right, that would be funny, but again, it shows my statement that the elections are all rigged. It's a selection, right? It's a selection. The people behind the scenes are pulling the strings. It's not, me and you voting and then our votes counting together to vote someone in. That's not what's happening. It's people behind the scenes that have money, right? They have power and money to call these shots. They're the ones who are putting in there who they want to push their agendas. That's exactly what's going on. Bear for me a second. Really said the Matrix was always created to collapse. Yeah, eventually, comes a point where civilization is going to collapse in on itself. We saw that with the Roman Empire, right? Rome was so huge that it basically stretched itself in, where it couldn't completely control all the territory that it claimed as its own. So over the course of time, it started to erode and fade away. And that's what's happening with America, right? It had its time to bear rule, but now it's starting to fade away. It's not going to happen overnight, but over the course of some time. And it's been some time. It's been some time. It has absolutely been over the course of years. This country's been through multiple collapses. Like say, for instance, you had a great collapse in the 30s, right? The Great Depression. People back then probably thought they were living in the end times and that Jesus was going to return like any day now. And here we are like 90 years later. and it didn't happen. But the difference between that time and now is now we're seeing the prophecies happen. Whereas, certain things back then couldn't be fulfilled like how they could be fulfilled in our time today. Let's see. Dirty Varmint said, I agree, it's probably a selection, not an election. Trump is going to be the hero selected to save us from World War III. It's all going according to plan. Well, again, that could be the deception they put on the minds of the people, right? Give them a delusion that there's going to be someone to save us, from all of this, coming harm. That could be a plan that they have. Who knows? Luke said Haiti is wild. Yeah, you're right, man. Wild shit taking place down there. Nah, man, Perry Green. Nah, that dude's a Fruit Loop, man. That cat's a